This is the story of how I went from being a very overworked, busy nurse, feeling mentally, physically, and spiritually drained in life. Working 12-hour shifts, never having time for my family, no freedom, to making one powerful but simple shift in my life that helped me build a successful six-figure business online. Hi, my name is Virginia. I am a 58-year-old entrepreneur, and I'm also a very proud mother. But just a few years ago, it was not like that. Deep down, I was so desperate. I wanted more income. I wanted real freedom for me and my family. Now, if you're feeling like this right now, I honestly got it, ladies, and I want to inspire you that I'm not lucky and I am not special. I definitely did not have it all figured out. And if I'm doing it without much experience and tech skills, so can you. In just a few minutes, I'm going to take you back to when my life was a mess like that. What drove me to finally walk away, and how that one shift, it changed everything for me. And by the end of this video, you're gonna know what that simple shift is. That simple shift that changed everything for me. And if you have been missing clarity, you have been missing direction like I was, my goal is to help you believe that you're not too late and the life you're craving, ladies, is still possible. See, I spent 25 years in the workforce, mainly as a nurse. I did what society said. Get a job. Nursing was a great job. It might sound great to others, but what they don't tell you, you're on your feet 12 hours a day and your back is giving out. You're in constant go mode. You're taking care of everyone except yourself, your patients. You're under a staff that is just toxic. And I was barely getting by. It wasn't like I was making a ton of money. Every week was like a game of survival for me. But here's the part that people don't talk about when it comes to a draining 9 to 5. What it quietly steals from you day by day. Skipping meals, holding back tears like in the break room, and putting everybody else first. And it's not just that I didn't even have time for my family. It was more than that. It was a feeling of feeling stuck. That feeling where you're juggling every single thing in life. And even though nothing's technically wrong, okay, but you're not at peace. And that was my life. I was always playing catch up. I was always running. I was always on the go. I was always tired. My daughter called me, "I'm so tired." I felt so physically drained and spiritually drained. There's no words for it. And that kind of tiredness, it changed me. It's the kind of tiredness that sleep can't even fix. But most importantly, I stopped dreaming. I stopped thinking that there was anything else out there more for me. And for a while, I accepted it, actually for a long while. And the worst thing is I convinced myself that maybe this was just what my life was meant to be. That I didn't need to change anything. I just needed to work harder. I needed to grind more. I needed to be stronger. I needed to tough it out. I needed to get on with it. Just deal with it, Virginia. After all, ladies, that's what we're taught to do, right? Work hard. Stay grateful. Push through. Keep showing up for a life that doesn't quite feel like it's yours. And I realized I wasn't building my dream. I was building somebody else's dream. I was putting mine on the shelf year after year, which became decade after decade. But deep down, I knew I wanted more. I knew it, and I knew somehow I was capable. And it wasn't just the money. I wanted freedom, okay? Freedom and time, because we never get time back. Time to breathe, time to spend with my family, time to just enjoy life, which I didn't remember what that was like. And I was actually living a life that I felt like it wasn't the life I designed out to be, that was designed for me. But those words kept resonating. Just be grateful. Be grateful for the moments that you have. Be grateful to scrape by. Virginia, one day your break's gonna come and you're gonna get your turn later. Not now, later. And I remember the day The day that I had the breakdown, I went to my car after my shift and just bawled in tears and put my head on the steering wheel, looked up, and I said, God, I can't keep doing this. I remember that day like it was yesterday. Just bawling my eyes out. God, please show me a different way. I need more. I didn't know exactly what, but I knew at that moment something had to change. Something. And this quiet realization came over me. I can't quite put it into words, but it was like God dropped down into my chest. And something from that moment changed. It was that moment. That was it. I had so much clarity on one thing, which was I cannot keep being stuck in this job. And I cannot let my daughter suffer because of this either. That moment hit me like it was like a ton of bricks, as they say. That's when I realized something also, that it wasn't necessarily my job holding me back, and it wasn't because I was too late or I was too old. It had nothing to do with that. What it had to do with was my mindset and my belief systems. And that hit me hard because I realized most of my life I spent believing things that weren't even mine. These were things that I picked up from my family, from society, from years of struggling, from everybody else. Things like money doesn't grow on trees, Virginia. People like us don't get rich. You got to be grateful for what you have. You make money if you didn't come from money. Look, as long as you got a roof over your head, you're getting by. Keep working hard, Virginia. Get another degree, maybe. Get more debt. It'll eventually get better. I believed that wanting more was greedy. It was selfish. It was impossible for a woman like me in her 50s to find her place of success in the world. That success was for other people that my time had passed by. And if I'm being really honest with you, that was the voice, the inner conversation in my head. Like everyone else kind of has it figured out and you're stuck. You're stuck behind. But the moment I made that decision to change that conversation in my head was the exact moment that everything changed. My whole story changed after that. A decision to stop living in scarcity and start an abundant mindset. And the crazy part is I didn't even know how bad my mindset was until I started to become aware of it. But something cracked open in me. I can't even tell you exactly why or how, but I reached a point where I could not unsee it anymore. And I took a good look and I realized this isn't the life that God put me here for. And that shift, that lit me on fire. Thoughts I'd been thinking, the beliefs that were like holding me back, they weren't the truth. They were limits. They were lies. They were walls. But that shift changed everything for me. So what did I do to fix this, to get unstuck from this draining life that no longer served me? I started moving. That's what I started doing, ladies. I started learning. I started to invest in myself. I signed up for some coaching, took a lot of courses, a lot of them bad, but I watched trainings. That mindset shift from lack to abundance, from fear to trust, from I can't to what if I can. And that shift is what led me to start my online business. I didn't even know what I was doing in the beginning at first. I was so scared, but I was ready. I was so ready. I took everything I learned, every single thing I learned, even my failures. I applied it step by step. I started building, and what started as a way of like a little extra money on the side became the very thing that completely changed my life. And now I've built a business, but more importantly, my freedom. Now you may not want to go that far, okay? You may just want to make some extra money, and that's fine, that's good. But the point is, I now have freedom, a woman with resources, and the time that I hope for. Time to actually sit at the table with my daughter and eat my food, not guzzle it. Time to listen to her conversations, and most importantly, not feel guilty. Time to create a future that felt stable, peaceful. I had peace in my chest, not pressure, ladies. I had options, not panic no more. I had freedom, not fear. The freedom to go on expensive holidays with my family. The freedom to work from anywhere in the world from my laptop and still make an income. If you've always wanted to achieve something like this, here's what I need you to hear, ladies, today. None of this happened because I worked harder. In fact, it happened because I started thinking differently. Now, let me ask you something, ladies, that will also help you step into this same mindset. What have you been believing about money, about time, about your future, not your past, about there being another way, about your ability? Are you carrying somebody else's story like I was? Have you been living out a belief that says, this is just how life is and I can't do anything about it? Are you doing what I did? Waiting for a perfect time. And maybe the real question here is, what would change if you gave yourself permission right now to want more? You are not too late. You are not too old. You have not missed your chance. I am evidence of that. Abundance, ladies, doesn't belong to a certain age group or to people with perfect backgrounds or flashy Instagram lives. It belongs to the woman who decides that her best years, they're not behind her. They're right here waiting for her. There is a quote that goes, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great, ladies. If you're sitting in your car listening at the end of a long day, standing in the kitchen, wondering, is this a sign? And if you feel that tiny, just a tiny little spark of hope inside you right now, that little quiet whisper that says, what if what she's saying is possible? That whisper is where everything begins. I know it, and that is exactly why I help women now who were where I was get to where they want to be. Not just how to build a simple, proven online business that any woman over 40, 50, 60, yes, I even have 70, or if she's got kids, taking care of a job, trying to do the balance thing, and even if she has no business experience at all. I teach also how to build that abundance mindset that will set you up for success. As I see shifts in their lives every day, if anything I said today lit a spark in you, I want you to remember this. God has put you here for a reason. Your life is not just random. Your desire for more, for freedom, for time, for peace, that's not an accident. Because let me tell you, his word says, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you a future and hope. I love that. Jeremiah 29:11. So if any part of this message resonated with you today, it made you pause, made you reflect, hey, welcome to my channel. This is a space for women like you who are ready to think differently, to live fully, create a life of abundance. So please feel free to subscribe and please drop a comment below. I want to know, tell me your story, even just the part that hit your heart the most, because I'll read them. And with that being said, I will see you ladies in my next video.